Have you ever wondered why God commanded the destruction of entire nations in the Old Testament? It's a tough question, and today we're diving into one of the hardest passages, Numbers 31:17. Stay with me as we unpack the meaning behind this command. This video is sponsored by Pillar College, New Jersey's premier Christian college. For more, visit pillar.edu. Today, I've got 5 insights to help you understand why God commanded the Israelites to destroy the Midianites in Numbers 31:17. In Numbers 31, God tells Moses and the Israelites to destroy the Midianites, including the male children. This passage is one of the hardest to understand in the Old Testament. To make sense of it, we need to look at both the historical and spiritual context. First, we need to examine the context of tribal warfare. In ancient times, tribal warfare was common. The Midianites had actually led Israel into sin at Baal Peor, which brought God's judgment on his people, Numbers 25. The Midianite boys would grow up with a strong desire for revenge, which would keep the cycle of violence going. Second, the moral depravity of the Midianites. The Midianite culture was full of immorality, immoral practices, things like child sacrifice and cold prostitution, Leviticus 18:21 through 24. Letting these boys grow up in that environment would mean that those practices would continue, creating a moral and spiritual threat to Israel. Third, divine mercy and judgment. Though hard to understand, God's command to end the lives of the Midianite boys may have been merciful. God, in his wisdom, knew what would happen if they grew up and followed their father's sinful ways. By ending their lives early, God might have been sparing them from a future of rebellion and eternal separation from him. 4, God's righteousness and wisdom. God's standards are not like ours. His ways are higher, Isaiah 55:8-9. God's actions are always just, Psalm 145:17. And even if we don't fully understand his commands, we can trust that they are based on his perfect wisdom. 5, our limited perspective. Finally, we have to remember our own limitations. You see, God sees everything, including the future. And with our limited understanding, it's easy to question his actions, but we're not in a position to judge his decisions. He holds everything together, Acts 17:28, and he desires the ultimate good, even when we don't fully grasp his reasons. Passages like Numbers 31 are tough to understand, but by looking at the historical context and trusting in God's wisdom, we start to see why commands like these were given. Ultimately, this passage reminds us to trust God's perfect plan, even when it's hard to understand. If you want to go deeper into understanding tough questions in the Bible, check out Pillar College at pillar.edu. We'll see you in the next video, and don't forget to subscribe for more content just like this.